Okay, so I've been doing this series of videos on what I would do differently for Star Wars movies. I've already done the original trilogy, did that first. I have kind of done it in release order for the most part. I did it for the prequels, and I did it for Rogue One. Now I'm gonna hit the sequels. I guess at some point I'll have to do a solo treatment as well. So with the original trilogy, I specified details that I would have changed. With the prequel trilogy, what the hell are you doing? Oh, okay, sorry, that guy was on his bike and looked like he was gonna just sort of drift into my lane and have a head-on collision with me. Okay, well, I'm glad he wasn't that insane. Okay, so yeah, prequel trilogy, I kind of just rewrote them in my head. They're not good movies. They're done logically wrong. So anyway, I kind of just redid them. A lot of traffic for some reason. Alright, well anyway, sequel trilogy. What I want them to have done differently is to have, one, planned it out beforehand, two, not used the guy who did Transformers, because, I mean, Star Wars is not supposed to be purely action with no depth. And three, okay, fine. You could have pulled out further than that. Some people. Was I saying three? Oh yeah. Never let Rian Johnson anywhere near Star Wars ever, because that guy's a piece of shit. Subvert expectations. Asshole. Four, use something closer to what Timothy Zahn did with the original Thrawn trilogy of books. Return of the Jedi ends with the inclusion of the Emperor's death. The Emperor is gone. That shouldn't be undone as the new big bad guy for the ending of episode 9. That's just another way of breaking the original trilogy, right? Like, Han and Leia being on the outs is obnoxious because like, okay, they just got together at the end of Return of the Jedi. I want to see them. I want to see the heroes of the original trilogy, like, with something happy, right? Like, this is escapist fantasy. It's space opera. It is adventure serials. It is supposed to be. Whoops. Be in the other lane, supposed to be lighthearted, like have a message that's good, but like I'm not looking for my favorite characters to be suffering, right? And what Rian Johnson did to Luke Skywalker is unacceptable. But that's stuff that happens later in the trilogy, and this video is supposed to address episode 7. So I think I was just giving you groundwork for why I hate the whole sequel trilogy, with minor bits and pieces that are okay. I like the characters of Poe, Finn, and Rey, and Kylo is an interesting character. I think Kylo is gonna not be... well, I don't know. I haven't decided yet if he's Han and Leia's son or not. I kind of... because I'm leaning on the original Thrawn trilogy, I also am leaning on the expanded universe books that give us the families of Han and Leia and Luke and Mara. So I'm probably going to suggest kind of a hybrid. So what I want is for, Return of the Jedi, Fall of the Empire, right? Which is maybe what Return of the Jedi should have been called, but whatever. Episode 7 should be, in my opinion, called The Heir to the Empire, and be the introduction of Thrawn. And in those books, Thrawn is unknown to the New Republic, or the New Jedi Order, and he is working in secret. He knows very well that that's one of his greatest advantages right now. He is still a master strategist, and I like the detail that he uses art of a civilization to get an idea for how they think, and to cater his strategies to a given species, a given civilization, a given society. That was cool. And in the Heir to the Empire books, he deduces that the Emperor has been using the Force as a method of helping his fleets work together whenever there's a space battle that he is involved in. And he cites the Battle of Endor as an example of that, where once the Emperor dies, the cohesiveness of the Imperial fleet falters, and the rebels end up having an easier time cleaning up. So he believes that one of the things the fleet he's building is going to need is another, like a force-sensitive orchestrator. And in the books, he goes after somebody named Joris Cabaoth, or Sabaoth, or however you pronounce it. I never heard it spoken. I only saw it read in the books. He finds this person and convinces him to help in that same way, to try and bring order to the galaxy again. And this is a fallen Jedi Master, and there are more details and aren't super relevant to my idea for episode 7. Where what I'm thinking is that Kylo Ren could be like sort of an active dark side Force user, and maybe it is Han and Leia's son, who is around 20, 25 years old, 25. If episode 7 is set 30 years after Return of the Jedi. And so he's had enough time to learn well, and maybe he is a student on the outs with Luke and the Jedi Academy, but he hasn't wiped out the Academy, and Luke never tried to kill him in his sleep, because that's fucking awful. That is just a stupid, obnoxious, offensive idea. I do not accept it at all. But this kid who, like Anakin, had lots of power but is seeing other people advance faster than him because they are better at the fine skills. They're better at the finesse. But he's finding out that rage helps him accomplish things that the others can't do anything about, because they just don't have the power to work against him. So he's relying on that too much. Luke is getting a little flustered because he's never been a teacher of Jedi before, and he doesn't know how to deal well with that level of impatience and jealousy. So yeah, maybe this is Han and Leia's son. Maybe even use the name Anakin again, but that might be a little too on the nose. Like, yep, he's the one that's falling to the dark side. So maybe Jason and Jaina are not twins, and they use the name Jason again. Jason Solo becomes Kylo Ren, or names himself Darth Ren. Details that don't matter so much. And so he's publicly on the outs with the new Jedi Order and publicly making mischief. He's doing things he shouldn't be doing. And Thrawn sees the opportunity, sends someone to talk to him to see if he might be interested in joining an effort that will bring order back to the galaxy and help squash the Jedi who have mistreated him so much. Whatever. Maybe at first he's like, yeah, I'm not looking for the whole galaxy to suffer. I just want the Jedi to be squashed. But maybe with time, he manages to convince Jason to really become Darth Ren. Yeah, so in episode 7, we have the overtures of Thrawn toward Jason. We have the New Republic folks and the New Jedi Order folks being aware of things happening in the Outer Rim, where like neutral worlds have been hit, where supplies, shipyards, things like that have been attacked with hit and run tactics, small group tactics, things similar to what the rebellion had to use before, and no one knows who it is. Han can use his contacts in the smuggling world to both try and find information and because the New Republic is still trying to fill out its transportation fleet, its shipping fleet, we can still have that aspect of Han offering smugglers legit jobs with the New Republic, so they don't have to worry about being caught or getting in trouble, and they get paid, right? Like, it's a reliable customer. So he's offering these people with ships this new job, and that's still taken from Heir to the Empire, or at least the original Thrawn trilogy. And we get this nice setup, like that original trilogy, where the different Force user to replace Joruus C'baoth, whatever. We don't have to deal with the odd are clones of Force users also themselves Force sensitive question. We can leave that one sort of hanging to tell the story, though I have my preferences for that. So episode 7 would be the nice reintroduction to the setting that I wanted, and that I think other people wanted too. Like, instead of a carbon copy of episode 4, we get new content. We get to hear how the New Republic has been doing in the past 30 years, and about how the Empire has been essentially broken down to pirate fleets, or the like there are a few systems that the Empire managed to keep control of, and that have been operating that way, and the Republic hasn't really had the resources to try and go after them. Like, there are enough of them and enough of the fleet left over that they're having to use their military space fleet defensively more than offensively. We get to see like a new small Jedi Order that's been operating for 25-ish years and started like on Yavin in the old Rebel base with Luke offering families to come live on Yavin in this established new town, bringing, well, either themselves if they're one of the parents, or their kids, and they can live there, go to school there. It's no longer idiotic. Well, yeah, in my rewrite of the prequels, the Jedi weren't an order of, like, weren't a government body that were stealing children, which was a stupid idea. They're now reasonable. So I guess I'm saying Luke goes back to being reasonable, and but like more organized. So children can learn, but they have to still go to normal school and still have a reasonable relationship with their family, so that they can be reasonable people, instead of weirdly brainwashed servants of the Jedi Order. Yeah, anyway. We see how that's going, how that has progressed, and yeah, there are going to have been failures along the way. People who used the knowledge selfishly went off and did their own thing, and Luke and his other Jedi are trying to deal with those things, so that people don't get hurt because of what he taught them. So, yeah, Jedi are still busy in the galaxy, and maybe they're even talking about setting up the first schools off of Yavin, or I guess towns, like, that are centered around a Jedi academy. And maybe the big fight at the end of episode 7 is like a Republic shipyard. So it becomes much more clear that there is actually an organized force out there trying to I gotta end this video, trying to make inroads, and that the Republic is gonna have to deal with it. And then maybe we even just get the glowing red eyes with behind the thinking hand that introduces Thrawn, but like we don't get to, yeah, you know what I mean. All right, I gotta go. Thank you for listening. See you when I talk about episode 8.